Hello, it's Jay here again, and welcome to a new series this time, in which we're going to create a day-night cycle script. So, to begin with, I've done what I normally do. I've created a new project, and I've just imported the standard assets for now. And of course, the first thing we need to do is create a folder for our scripts. And then we can go in and create the script itself. Make sure it's a C# script. And we'll just call this day-night cycle. You can call it whatever you like, it doesn't really matter. And we'll open it for editing. And it may just take a moment. Now, I have a lot of things planned for this series, far too many to list right now for you, otherwise the video will be way too long, but we're going to start by getting the skeleton for the basics in place first. So to begin with, we'll come up the top and we'll create of type public, and we're going to say day. And I want day phases. And we'll use the same naming convention, only this time underscore lowercase d for day. And again, we'll just use phases. I'll just fix our little typo there. We can close the line off and we'll come straight into the comments. So we'll say defines naming convention for the phases of the day. And we'll come just below here, we'll leave a line break and we'll say public enum, and then we're going to use this word here, day phases, the first one. And when I paste it in, we should notice that disappear in a moment. So we've opened and closed brackets, and we're going to create our enum here. So let's just put a comment for the enum. We'll say enums for day phases, and we'll come inside here. And there's 4 basic phases of the day, as I'm sure you're all aware. There is dawn and comma, and we'll say day, comma, dusk, comma, and night. Now, there does not need to be a comma on the last one here. Computationally speaking, it is better to use numbers, but we're just going to use a comma for now, just in case we want to increase the range of phases at a later date. So I always do this when I create enums. I start with commas. Once the script's finished, I'll come back and I'll apply a numeration to these. So with that said, we'll move along, and don't worry if you do not understand what I've just said. You know, we'll go through everything as we fill it out, and I'm sure everything will start to become, or you will start to become aware of how things work in this script. So let's get the voids in place first. Now, the first void we need, and we can use void because none of these functions will return a value, and we're going to say seconds counter. We'll open and close brackets, we'll open and close. Again, of type void, no value returned, and we'll say minutes counter. Again, open and close, we'll open and close. And void, and I'm sure you've guessed, we're going to say hours counter. We'll open and close, we'll open and close again. And we'll just come inside each one of these and we'll just get the debug.log in place first. For any of you new to my series, I do like to use debug logs so we can see if everything's working correctly in the console when we come to test things out, and of course we'll get rid of these in the final script. But for now, let's get them in place and we'll just copy the naming conventions. So debug.log, open brackets, little speech marks, the name of the function, and then we just close speech marks, close brackets, and close the line off. And we'll just paste in. We can leave a line break there, and we'll just swap out the naming convention here. And one last time here. And we'll come below. And now we need to set up voids for each one of the enums. So we'll come here, we'll say void, and of course dawn, open and close brackets, open and close. And we just need to go through for each one. So void day, open and close brackets, will open and close. Void, and we want dusk, open and close, and open and close brackets again, and the same thing for night. So we've got the 4 voids set up for these 4 in the enum, and of course we're going to do the same thing again. While we're testing, we're going to have debug logs in place. So I'll just copy and paste the one from the hours counter, and then we'll just swap out the naming convention here. So dawn, copy, and we'll paste again. The same for dusk, and finally for night. And we'll need one more void. Void on GUI. Capital O, lowercase n, capital GUI. Open and close brackets, now we'll open and close. So we don't really need a debug for the void on GUI. I'll just save that off there for the moment because we can automatically see if any GUI is working. Again, once we come to the finished script, we can comment these out or delete them. But we have them in for now, so we can see everything working in the console as we go along. And we've got the framework now for a few basic functions to be filled out. So let's just go through it. We create of type public so we can see it in the inspector while we're testing. We say day phases and give that a naming convention. We'll be using this naming convention at a later date, the underscore day phases. We create a public enum with this naming convention, and that's just a block to hold all the phases of the day. We create them voids down here because we are going to create a finite state machine for the phases, which is an excellent way of optimizing your code. And of course we have separate voids for the second, minutes and hours. Now I know a lot of people may say, well, why don't you put these 3 into the void update? Trust me, when we actually come to fill out these 3 functions here, you will automatically see why I've split them into 3 different functions, and that's through optimization. For example, this is the only block that will be running all the time, and when it hits 60, it'll call this void once while it starts again from 0, counting up to 60. So we don't have to have all the code from the minutes and the hours running. We only need the code running once whenever the seconds hit 60, or when the minutes do, then we can call the hours once. So again, please don't worry if you don't understand at the moment, because as I said, Once we come out to fill these blocks, we are going to comment all the code, same as we've done here. So hopefully you can fully understand how the script works, and then of course once the series is completed, hopefully you'll feel confident to make any changes or additions or whatever you want yourself. But for now, I think we'll leave it here for this video, and in the next lesson we'll pick up exactly where we've left off here. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope to see you next time, and until then, bye for now.